An orange and blue animation appears. The Camp Leap logo appears inside the animation. It fades into a black and gray animation. Words appear. How to request interpreters/CDI and how to use them with Ricardo and Masa. It fades into a video of Ricardo signing an ASL.
Hello there. Today, we're going to talk about DSA. DSA stands for Deaf Self-Advocacy. What do you think that means? How do you support yourself? If you're frustrated, what do you do? What if an interpreter doesn't show up for your appointment? Do you know that there are laws in place that protect deaf people and people with disabilities? Do you know the law as a deaf person? We will talk about that. What about CDIs? Do you know what a CDI is? What does that mean? If you're not sure or you don't know, that's okay. We've got lots of information and we'll go into detail pretty soon here. How do you request an interpreter from an interpreting agency? You can start by Googling agencies in your area. Type in Arizona Interpreting Agency or the state that you're in, then Interpreting Agency. Arizona has several interpreting agencies. You can find more information about each one, and if you need to go to the doctor or a meeting at school or any other facility and you need an interpreter, provide that list of interpreting agencies to the entity and they can directly make arrangements. The interpreting agency can explain to the entity how that process works. If you're in a mainstream school program and you're not satisfied with the interpreter that you have and the school does not know where to get interpreters, you can provide that list for them. It's important that you are familiar with interpreting agencies in your area. Businesses, courts, job interviews, and meetings. Schools, including elementary, middle school, and high school, as well as college. Medical appointments, including hospitals, doctor's offices, and dentists. What does a qualified interpreter look like? A qualified interpreter must be licensed or certified. One type of national certification is from RID, or Registry of Interpreters for the Deaf. National certification includes a test that screens the interpreter for their interpreting ability as well as their knowledge of the Code of Ethics and the law. Some states, including Arizona, have state licensure. This requires that interpreters have a badge that they wear when they're interpreting. This badge identifies the level of qualification that the interpreter has achieved. There are various levels from basic all the way up to legal or court settings. If you are working with an interpreter and they are not displaying their badge, you have the right to ask to see it. If they refuse to show it to you, that is a violation of the law. A CDI is a Certified Deaf Interpreter. If you're working with a hearing interpreter who is signing to you but you're not able to understand them, a CDI can come in and sign to you in natural ASL that you may understand better. CDIs are not only for deaf-blind individuals, they can be for any deaf person. What does an unqualified interpreter look like? Here are some examples. An interpreter who is not certified or state licensed is likely not qualified. Additionally, if you're working with an interpreter and you ask them to use specific signs or adjust the way that they're signing, and the interpreter refuses to do so and will not take feedback, that interpreter is likely not qualified. If the interpreter tries to help too much or do things for you, they are not qualified. I can work independently and the interpreter and I can help each other as needed. What should you do if a doctor's office or another place of business refuses to provide you with an interpreter? First of all, remember to keep a positive attitude. Do not become angry. I will now explain the difference between assertive behavior and aggressive behavior. Assertive means that you maintain a positive attitude and you approach the situation respectfully while you interact with the person, but at the same time, you are standing up for yourself and educating them about your rights. Aggressive behavior means that you're flying off the handle, getting angry, and making threats. You may also demonstrate passive-aggressive behavior where you refuse to talk to someone, but you leave the situation and gossip about them. Keep in mind, have a positive attitude. If you do maintain a positive attitude, you can develop a good relationship with that business or that doctor's office. If you continually become angry and aggressive, they may think that all deaf people behave in that manner, and it's time to change that attitude. It may just be that they don't know how to work with a deaf person, and so if we keep a positive attitude, they can learn. Suppose I go to the doctor's office. I'm sitting in the waiting room waiting for my turn, and the receptionist calls me over. I go over to speak with her, and she tells me that there's no interpreter for my appointment. What should I do? Maintain a positive attitude. Do not become angry. Explain to the receptionist that I've been waiting for a month to see the doctor, and I would like to reschedule within the next 2 weeks. I do not want to wait another month. What is self-advocacy? Self-advocacy skills include the ability to speak up for yourself. Know your resources and make sure that you have everything at your disposal. Be able to ask for what you need and what you want. That is important. Your thoughts and feelings are valid. They are important. Self-advocacy means that you know your rights and your responsibilities and you can advocate for them. You are able to look at your choices and make decisions that affect your life. Now, you've learned a great deal of information, which is great. Deaf self-advocacy training, which you've just gone through, is very important. You need to know your own rights. You need to know what's available in your state. In Arizona, we have the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing. That is a state agency that houses a wealth of resources, including a list of qualified licensed interpreters. It's also good that you know what your rights are as a deaf person. If you need more information, ACDHH can provide you with additional resources. When you have all of that information at your disposal, you are ready to confront any issues that you may face. Rather than feeling like a business that you're talking to wins, you can provide them with information, they can learn from you, and you can get access. So it's a win-win. It's important that you don't allow others to do things for you. You need to take matters into your own hands. If you need help, ask your friends, your teachers, or look online. Good luck in your future.
It fades into an orange and yellow background. Words appear. Keep an eye out for more content from our staff. The Camp Leap logo is at the bottom.